Hello crochet friends, this is Wendy. Today I am going to be working with a doily pattern to make a wall mandala. And what started off this idea was I received a ring as a Christmas gift and I want to do something with that. I also have a larger ring, a 14-inch, so I'm not sure where this is going to end up, but we will see. I have this doily box pattern. It's free online, so I'll link it in the description below. So I'd encourage you to go and print it off and follow along with me, and we'll make this beautiful wall hanging. In the pattern, it suggests number 30 crochet cotton and a number 12 steel crochet hook. With crochet cotton and steel hooks, the numbers go opposite the way they typically would with yarn. So when you are working with wool or something, the larger the number, the heavier the yarn. But with crochet cotton and hooks, the larger the number, the smaller the yarn. So a number 30 is very fine, and a number 12 is a 1mm crochet hook. Now that's really tiny, and it's hard to see, especially if I'm trying to do it on a video. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger than that. I'm going to use a size 10 thread, this Aunt Lydia's crochet thread. The color is aqua. So it's sort of a nice turquoise color. It's called a zero weight or lace weight yarn on here, and it recommends a 1.5mm crochet hook. So that's what I'm going to use, is a 1.5, just to go a little bit bigger to make it easier for me and for you to see. But of course you can go with the suggested smaller cotton if you like. It says you'll need about 675 yards. This ball is 350, so it's only half of what, a little more than half of what it's suggesting. But I know I can get another ball of this in town. I live in rural Ontario, so I have to keep in mind what I can get locally or what I can get online, especially in the winter time, but I know I can get another one of these. So I will see how far it goes. The other thing is that it says this doily is 28.5 inches in diameter, so that's over 2 feet wide. That's really big, and I'm using a little bit heavier yarn, so mine would be even bigger. So my plan at this point is to just see how far I get to fit one of these rings, and then it'll be what it'll be. So on the picture, I'm hoping to get at least to the daisies and somewhere in this ring around the daisies, and then I'll stop when it's the right size. But it could be bigger, of course, if I had a bigger ring. So if you've printed it out and you've got it sitting beside you along with your thread, let's give this a try. So this pattern is from 1958, so it's a vintage pattern. And the stitches used in this pattern are a chain, a single crochet, a double crochet, a treble crochet, a double treble, and that's about it. So if you don't know how to do some of those, that's just fine. We'll figure it out as we go along. And I will try to do my best to keep it slow and explain clearly so that you can follow along. And then just stop the video whenever you need to take a little more time and pick up again once you've caught up. So round 1. Actually backing up a little bit where it says circle of wheels. Hopefully you've printed your pattern and you're following along with me. Circle of wheels. This circle is completed first in order to have it ready for joining when working round 18 of the doily center. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what they mean by a circle of wheels, but we'll just follow the pattern and we'll figure it out as we go. So round 1, chain 8, slip stitch to form a ring, chain 3, double crochet in ring 23 times. Counting the chain 3 as 1 double crochet, there will be 24 double crochets in the ring, slip stitch in the top of the chain 3. So chain 8. This is going to be a bit fiddly being small. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch in the first one, so put your hook in the very first chain, pull up a loop, and then through the loop on your hook, like that. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 23 double crochets into this circle. And I'm just going to catch the tail of my yarn as I go along so that I don't have to work it in later. So yarn over into the circle, pick one up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over through the circle, pick one up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. That's your double crochet. Yarn over in the circle, yarn over, go through 2, go through 2 again. So I'll come back when I've got 24. Take your time and join me then, trying to keep your double crochets as equal in size as you can to make a nice even circle. All right, so I've got my little 24 double crochet circle, but I was looking back at the pattern and trying to figure out what this circle of wheels thing is about. Now, rounds 1 through 5, it talks about making a round, a motif. Round 6 talks about joining the wheels together, and then it goes down to doily center, rounds 1 through 5 of the circle of wheels. So what I have figured out by reading the pattern through, I always tell people read the whole pattern through first, and I'm terrible at taking my own advice, but so what we're making now is one of these little, they call them wheels. I think they look like daisies, but so we need to make 14 of these little wheels for this circle and join them together, and then one more little wheel for the center, and then we'll work out from there, join in the flowers, I'm just going to call them flowers, and then go outside of that again. So we're going to do rounds 1 through 5 to make each of these little wheels and then join them together. Okay, so going back to my little wheel here, we're going to be working round 2, which says chain 6, double crochet in second double crochet of previous round, then chain 3, skip 1 double crochet in next, repeat, ending with chain 3, slip stitch in third stitch of chain 6. So this is supposed to be a pattern reading tutorial, so I'm just going to think out loud as I'm reading my pattern here, and hopefully that will help you to understand how to interpret patterns. So it says to chain 6. So we'll do one thing at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to take the place of my double crochet and a chain 3. Then double crochet in second double crochet of previous round. Now technically the second double crochet would be the one right next to it because I'm on top of the first one, which was a chain 3, but because the repeat is telling me to skip one every time, I'm assuming they mean to go in the second one from where I started the chain. So I'm going to skip a double crochet. So chain 6, skip a double crochet, do a double crochet in the next one. Then we start the repeat of chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, skip a double crochet. So I'm in this one. I'm going to skip this one and go into the next one. Yarn over, go into the next one, pull through, go through 2, and go through 2 again for a chain 2. Chain 3, skip the next one, go into the following one, pick one up, go under 2 loops, go under 2 loops again, and I'm going to continue that around, chaining 3, skipping 1, double crochet. So I'm just going to continue that all the way around, and then I will come back. The pattern says I should have 12 spokes and 12 spaces at the end of this round. That's what it looks like so far. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and I need to slip stitch in the 3rd chain from my starting chain of 6. So 1, 2, 3, put my hook in there, pull a loop through and through the one on my hook. So now I've got my 12 spaces and 12 spokes of my first wheel. Okay, so round 3, chain 8, and there's a little asterisk, so that's the start of our repeat. Double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 5, repeat from the asterisk around. So we'll start with a chain 8, and then this section between the asterisks we do over and over for the whole round. Double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 5, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 5, and so on around, ending with a slip stitch in the 3rd stitch of the chain 8. Okay, so starting with the chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, double crochet in the next double crochet. So that would be this one here after the space. I'm going to go into the top part of that double crochet. Let me back up a bit. So I'm going to put my hook under the yarn to pick one up because I'm making a double crochet. Go into the top of that double crochet, pull one up. It's a little hard to see because of the way it wraps around the hook, but you can see that I still have 3 loops there, right? Pick one up, go through those first 2 and through the next 2. Then the repeat says to chain 5, 3, 4, 5, double crochet in the next double crochet. So again, go under the thread into that double crochet, pick one up, go under 2 and under 2 more to make a double crochet. Again with the repeat, 5 chains, pick up a loop. Sometimes it's easier to hold on to that with your finger so that it stays put. Go into the next double crochet and pick one up under those first 2 threads and through again. I'm not 100% happy with that one. It's a little loose, so I'm going to do it again. This is how I thread my thread over, under, over my fingers to tension it. You may do it a different way, but in case you were wondering. Okay. That's a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up a loop, go into the next double crochet, pick one up. I do find thread is a little bit harder to work with than yarn. and make another double crochet. There's no reason you couldn't do this with a lightweight yarn. Maybe a number 1 yarn in a bigger hoop would be beautiful. Could even do it with a variegated yarn. Okay, so you can see the second row of holes shaping up. It's round 3. So this was our first round, this dense one here, second one, and third one. So I'm going to continue the rest of the way around and slip stitch into the third chain of my starting chain, and then I'll come back. Round 4 of our wheel. It says chain 5, 4 double trebles at base of chain. To make a double treble, thread over the hook 3 times and work off 2 loops at a time. Then the start of a repeat. Chain 3, 5 double trebles in the next double crochet, repeat from the asterisk around, ending with, oh, I think that's a typo, should say chain 3, slip stitch in the top of chain 5. So if you're working from the pattern round 4, it says EH, I think that should be CH, it's just a typo there. Okay, so let's do that. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3. And then 4 double trebles at the base of that chain. So in the top of that chain 3 space, or chain 3 that we just slip stitched into. So over 1, 2, 3 times over the hook into the base of that chain, pick up a loop, and now it's a little hard to see because it wraps around, but you will have 5 loops on your hook at this point. Then pick up a loop and go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2 and 2 and 2. That's a double treble, and it brings it up to the height of that first chain 5 that we did. So 1, 2, 3 times around the hook. So you've got 4. Go into the space and pick one up. So you've got 5. Yarn over, go through 2 once, yarn over through 2 twice, yarn over 3 times, and yarn over 4 times. So we're going through 2 loops 4 times to complete this stitch. It's quite a tall stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wrap around 3 times. Go into the space and pick one up. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2 a 4th time. So now I've got 5, including the chain 5 at the beginning, 5 double trebles. Then we'll start the repeat. So chain 3, wrap around 3 times, go into the double crochet underneath both the front and back loops at the top, pick one up, go through 2, 2, 2, and 2. Another double treble. Okay, so that's the first repeat, the chain 3 and the 5 double trebles, and I'll repeat that all the way around and come back at the end of the round. Okay, so there's the end of my round 4. For round 5, the pattern says chain 4, treble at the base of the chain. To make a treble, thread over twice and work off 2 loops at a time. Treble in each of the next 3 double trebles, 2 trebles in the next double treble, chain 4, so this is a repeat because we have an asterisk, chain 4, 2 trebles in the first double treble of the next group, double treble in each of the next 3 double trebles, 2 trebles in the last double treble, repeat from the asterisk around, end with chain 4, slip stitch in the top of the first chain 4. I think there is a typo in this instruction because in the first petal or part of the wheel here, it says treble in each of the next 3 double trebles, and here it says double treble in each of the next 3 double trebles. I think that's just supposed to be a treble. So I'm going to try it that way and we will see how it looks. It doesn't make any easier to follow a pattern when there's mistakes in it, does it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains at the beginning of this round, treble in the base of the chain. So 2 loops around into the base of that stitch, pick one up, so I've got 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and through the last 2. A treble in the next 3, so in the top of the next double treble, I'm going to pick up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, 3 times, and in the second of the 3, over 2, into the third, and then it said to do 2 trebles in the last one. So in the top of this last double treble, I'm going to work 1 treble, wrap twice, go in and pick one up, so I've got 4, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trebles on top of my 5 double trebles because I put 2 in the first one and 2 in the last one. Now we start the repeat. So chain, what did it say? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It said 2 trebles in the first double treble of the next group. 1, 2, 3 groups of 2, and then another one in that same first one, like that. And then this is where I am adjusting because I think where it says 3 double trebles in the next 3, it means just trebles. So I'm going to go with my gut here and do 3 trebles in the next 3. Because otherwise it won't match the first one. Okay, so there's one repeat, 4 chains and 7 trebles. I'm going to continue that all the way around. This makes the middle part of our petal. I still think it looks like a petal, not like a wheel. So I'm going to go all the way around and then we will see what we have to do for round 6. Okay, so round 5 is complete. I'm happy with how that looks. We've got one more round to finish the wheel. Round 6. So for round 6, the pattern says chain 5, work 5 double treble cluster in the next 5 trebles. See, that tells me that we did this right here by changing these to trebles. To make a 5 double treble cluster, holding the last loop of each stitch on the hook, make a double treble in each of the next 5 trebles, thread over and pull through all the loops on the hook. Don't be confused, I'll show you how to do that. Chain 5, slip stitch in the top of the last treble. Slip stitch in each of the next 4 chain stitches, slip stitch in the top of the first treble of the next group, repeat from the asterisk around. Wow, it says repeat from the asterisk, but they didn't give us a first asterisk. So I'm going to guess that we're repeating the whole thing right from the beginning. I'm going to add my asterisk right before the first chain 5. So if you would like to mark your pattern and follow along, I tried this out and I figured out it was supposed to go there. So let's give that a try. Oh, I should read the end of this. So this completes the first wheel. Make a second wheel, joining the first and second spokes to any 2 spokes of the first wheel. Join the third wheel and every remaining wheel by joining the first and second spokes to the 8th and 9th spokes of the previous wheel. We'll come back to that when we have more wheels. We're still finishing our first one here. Okay, so I chained 5. Now I'm going to do a 5 double treble cluster. So wrap in the yarn around 3 times, so I have 4 altogether. Go into the top of the next treble. Work off 1, 2, 3 groups of 3. I'm not going to work off the last, 3 groups of 2. I'm not going to work off the last group of 2. I'm going to leave it on my hook. Same thing again, 3 yarn overs, pick one up, so I've got 1, 2, 3 groups of 2, leaving the last 3 loops on my hook. Doing another double treble, but leave the last stitch on, so now I've got 4. And another one. This is the 4th one out of the 5. And one more. Okay, so now what we do is yarn over and pull a loop through all of those loops on the hook to put them together into a cluster like that. The next instruction says chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch into the top of the next treble. So this last one here, go into the stitch, pick up a loop, pull it back, and through the one on the hook. So we end up with a group of stitches that come together at the top. Then we're going to slip stitch across the next 4 chains. So just in the top of this V here, put your hook in, pick one up, and go all the way back through the one on your hook. Pick one up and all the way through. That's 2, 3, 4, and then the next instruction says to do a slip stitch in the first treble, which is right there. And chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now the 5 double treble cluster again like we just did. So a double treble pulling through 3 groups of 2, leaving the last one. Another double treble. leaving the last one so that I have 3 on the hook. Now after 4 stitches, I have 4 loops on the hook. That's 4 including my starting chains. Oops. And I know I stop when I've got 1 treble left because that will be the one that I slip stitch into at the end. Okay, so I've got my 5 double trebles and my 5 chains at the beginning. Pick up a loop, go through all of those, chain 5, slip stitch into the last one. There's my group, and I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. So there's my first wheel all done. So I did find that I had to be careful not to make the chain 5 up and down the sides of the cluster too tight, because then it would curl in. But I think this will block out flat enough. 2 things. I don't really see why they would call this a wheel. Doesn't look like a wheel to me, but anyway. And the second thing is, I don't think that I'm going to be able to fit 14 of these in my hoop. So I might end up getting a bigger hoop. I think I'm just going to carry on though. I'm going to make another wheel, and I'm going to stop when I have 2 of these spokes left, because it said to join 2 of them to the previous one. It doesn't tell us how to join them, so we'll have to figure that out when we get there. So I'm going to make another one, come back when there's 2 left, and we'll figure out how to join them together. And from that point, you should be good to make the other 12 for a total of 14. And then 1 more for the starting point in the middle. So I'll see you soon. My second wheel is just about finished. I have 2 tops to finish, and the pattern says to join 2 of them to any 2 of the first wheel. So I'm at the point where I've done the 5 double trebles together, and before I go do the chains down the other side, I'm thinking the simplest way to do it would be to put them face to face, and I'm going to put my hook in the same point of the other wheel, so in the top where those 5 come together. And pull this first chain through both of them. So putting it in the top of the other one, and pull a stitch all the way through like that, and then do my chain 3, 4, 5 for the other side, and then that will go and slip stitch down to finish off this piece. Now slip stitch across the 4 chains like I did with all the others. Slip stitch in the top of the first double or first treble from the previous round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do my double trebles together. That's the fifth one. And pulling the stitch through all of those tops. Now I'm going to put them face to face again to do this second one together. Go through the top of the corresponding one, pick up my thread, and all the way back through. It's catching a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Slip stitch in the last double treble, slip stitch across the 4. Oh, I think I missed one. And a slip stitch in the starting chain. And pull the thread through to snug it up and fasten it off. Okay, let's see how it looks. There's my first 2 wheels fastened together like that. Now the pattern says join the 3rd wheel and every remaining wheel by joining the 1st and 2nd spokes to the 8th and 9th on the previous one. So I'm assuming if these are 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 would be those 2. So there will be 3 in between, and then 3 in between here, like that. So they're going to attach at those points with 3 left on the inside, 3 spokes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the outside. And it makes sense that that would become a circle. So I am going to go and make the rest of the wheels and put them together, and hopefully you will do the same, and then we will get back together when our whole circle of wheels is complete, and then do part 2 of the video. I'm going to publish this first half so that you can get off and running with these wheels, circle of wheels, and then we'll come back for part 2 and fill in the rest of it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and learning about how to read this pattern. It has been an interesting project so far. Drop me a comment if you are trying this for yourself, and I hope you'll join me for part 2. Have a super day.